Police Department is dedicated to working in partnership with the community to promote safety and enhance the quality of life by serving with professionalism, encouraging open communication, and embracing diversity.
Engaged.
Partnering with our citizens and involved in our community.
Progressive.
Embracing innovative strategies while maintaining proven practices.
Dedicated.
Serving with integrity and professionalism. Elgin became an incorporated city in 1854 and installed its first police marshal, George W. Renwick. Over the years, the title of the head law enforcement officer changed from marshal to chief. And although the role has expanded, one duty has remained consistent: to ensure law and order for the citizens of Elgin.
It's time now for Fridays with the Finest, featuring Elgin's current police chief, Anna Lally, on Elgin's hometown radio station since 1949, WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
And welcome in, folks, to Fridays with the Finest here on WRMN. Every Friday here on the local radio station, here live in Studio 14, serving you, the Fox River Valley area. Thank you, of course, everyone, for tuning in today. We've got Chief Anna Lally and quite the crew today. Yes. Hello, hello. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
That was a very energetic introduction. I like that.
Yeah.
I was like, there you go. All right.
you.
I like it. I like it.
9 a.m. Let's go.
So good morning, Elgin. I have a bunch of guests with me. They all have been on the radio show before, so they're familiar faces, but we are here today to talk everything about the Autism Hero Project, our event tomorrow at the police department, the 6th year. I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves, but Tamika, she's just Tamika. She doesn't. There's no last name. It's just Tamika, and everybody knows Tamika. So she is here, and we just really want to talk everything that's been going on. Chad, who he'll talk here in a minute. Him and Tamika went on Fox 32, and they did some promotion. We've been working on our event. Danny is here. Robbie is here. Robbie's been here since the beginning. Sharing a very personal story, and just each year it gets better and better and better. So they are here to talk everything Autism Hero Project, the event coming up, the movie, all the stuff, all great stuff. So let's go down the line first and do some introductions. Just in case those don't know, we'll start with Danny.
Danny Flores, Community Relations Specialist.
I'm Chad Benavidez. I'm a Special Engagement Detective at the Elgin Police Department.
Robbie Soberano, Police Officer.
And I'm Tamika Lachey Morales, President and founder of the Autism Hero Project. I like your hat, Chad, and they're going to be on sale tomorrow at Heroes Unite.
There we go. So I'm actually going to give my microphone to Tamika here in a minute, and I'm just going to sit here and enjoy my coffee, which is great, right? But I just want to say a couple things, too. We started this project. It's always important to me that the history of how things happened at the Elgin Police Department, that it is remembered. And so Commander Eric Echeverria, who is now Chief Echeverria, who's about to retire in about a month from his chief job in Peoria. So Eric and Tamika knew each other. And Eric has a brother who is autistic. And I knew that because I knew Eric for 20 plus years. And, he was part of my command staff, and he approached me, and, we need to do something for not just for the education for the community, but also for police officers, how to respond in situations so that we're not doing things that we should not be doing, and that we have interactions, but they end up safe. And so, and then Robbie got involved because of, his story with his son, which he can share. And, it kind of just grew from there. So the first year it was big, and then every year it gets bigger and bigger. But I just, I do want to give credit to Tamika and to Eric. And, Eric is phenomenal. He is one of the best people that you're ever going to want to meet. And, truly, he was here the first year, and then he became a police chief. And so, we've just taken it from there. So it's always important to remember how these things start, because 10 years from now, when this is just out of control, big, huge, I want people to remember that story and how, good people getting together, talking about what we need to do. This is how you change the world. This is how you change things. And so, that's the history of it. And then I'm going to give the microphone to Tamika so she can talk. You guys can have your conversation. I don't think I'm going to pop in if I need to. So let's go.
Let's go. I do also want to just say that Eric continued what we started here in Elgin and actually brought it to Peoria. Last year, we trained their whole police department and civilian staff 10 weeks in a row. And then after that, he also put on his first, in Peoria, the city of Peoria, had their first autism acceptance celebration. And they had over 400 people come out to their first one that they outgrew the space. And this year they took it to the Peoria Convention Center and they just had their second one, which brought thousands of people in. So it's amazing just from one year to the next. And now we're on year 6. Yeah. Wow. I mean, if you were not part of this last year, you really missed out. Yeah.
There you go.
Go. Let's go. I love the energy. Let me tell you, when I started with them 6 years ago to where they are now, we're all screaming, let's go.
Give me this. I'll be the
Yeah, we're switching roles. So we have grown from the first year we had, about 400 people. We had Jenny McCarthy. We did the, traffic stops. And we thought, okay, this was pretty exciting. We had maybe 10 vendors. Last year, we had over 1,200 families come out, and we had almost 60 vendors, right, including all of the experiences. And no offense, but I hear from the city all the time that this is their favorite event. And all the civilians here who live here, the community, that's right.
You gotta try.
And it's my favorite event. Obviously, I have 2 favorite events of the year, and it is Heroes Unite, and it's the Gala. And you guys have been part of that. You've been part of both of them. But we're going to talk about some of the highlights. This year, we surpassed how many vendors we had last year. We had, because I have a separate list that I haven't made it onto that.
She has work for you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So we have over 60 vendors this year.
Yeah.
That includes.
And we have a ton of community partners on our end as well.
That's why I'm saying, no, I included some of yours. Yeah.
Yeah,
some of
but
them.
when I look at the event map, this is probably the largest event that I've seen now with the autism event.
Yes.
So be careful because maybe next year we just have to block the whole city.
Well, that's what we were talking about in our meeting. No, we literally talked about that in our meeting. We're like, what are we going to do next year? Yeah.
Say, wait, stop.
That was very slow. Chief, we're going to have to build something like the convention center that Peoria has. Right. We need to build it. And you know what? It's like, build it and they will come, right? So we were talking about this in our meeting. Where can we build something? Because, Autism Hero Project is now we're just part of the city of Elgin. Just that's who we are, honestly. Yesterday we had a vendor call us and said, I didn't have your number, but the city of Elgin transferred me straight to you. And it was like, wait, they transferred you to us? They can do that? That's amazing. But I'm going to give you guys, can you guys each tell me what's your favorite thing about this event? And then we'll talk a little bit more about it. I'm taking over your job.
No, that's good. You're good. You're great.
Because I know my favorite parts. But Robbie, talk about your favorite part.
I guess the biggest thing I can say about this event is that, coming from a perspective where I'm actually a parent of a child with autism and a first responder.
Yes.
So I'm actually able to view it from both sides. Where I'm actually seeing how can we as a community grow and really affect the change, I guess, that we're doing in the community. I'm looking at the fact that yesterday at the video showing.
We have a documentary that we've done with the Elgin PD that is now at the Chicago Latino Film Festival, and we had our premiere yesterday. And if you want to come out tonight, leave around 1 o'clock because there's a Cubs game tonight, and be there. It starts at 5 p.m. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But anyways, it's a lot of times having a family member with autism, the demands that it takes, and the struggles that we have. It's so isolating, and I think Jamie talked about it in the film. Mm-hmm. It feels that it's isolating experience, and events like this actually allows families that are generally isolated for most of the year to come out and be with people that are just like them, and they feel no judgment. Like I said, no, people aren't making fun of them. People aren't like bullying them. People are just enjoying each other, and there's no judgment when a child has a meltdown or is yelling and jumping around or stimming. People are just accepting of it. And I think I like that idea of just, at least for an afternoon, everybody in the community that's struggling can come together and be that community. It's really awesome to see that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Chad, what's your favorite part?
I think for me, I think it's just the full like immersion, both on the side of the individuals and their families, and then also the officers. So we get a lot of officers who help out and are working different parts of the event, and it just allows them to be surrounded by a group of officers and break down those barriers that some of them may have. We do things. I think my favorite thing that we do there is the assimilated traffic stops that actually allow us to talk through a traffic stop with an individual with autism and their family members and prepare them for a real life scenario, allowing them to get reps in a safe environment that then can translate into safe encounters down the line. That I think is super important. And I think it just opens up a lot of opportunity for us to do things, later on, apart from this event. But having that initial interaction with the families here allows us to build those relationships going forward and continue those relationships down the line.
I was gonna say, Chad, though, you're doing such an amazing job, man. I mean, I feel like just from the beginning and everything, you've really taken this off, and really, you're more technologically advanced than I am, right? So all those emerging technologies that we have for the police department, and I feel like Chad's like using them and really, employing them to a better way. I remember when we first had the premise alert program, where it was just starting like our take
on paper.
On paper on database, and it was such a complicated thing, and we were trying to brainstorm what's the best way to do this, and the emerging technologies that we have with the departments really took off because you're really using them, and it's really good to see that it's easier now.
Talk a little bit
easier.
about premise alert, because the families get to sign up, and since we have evolved it, let's talk about that so families know they can do this tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's called a couple different things all over the state. So Premise Alert, we call ours Family Finder Program or the Special Needs Registry. And all it is it's a database that's only accessible to police and fire. And it allows families to, using our outward-facing police department app that you can get through the App Store or Google Play, they can actually upload information for a family member that includes any triggers they might have, places that they may wander to, places they've been found in the past. It has emergency contact information, and then a picture. With that information, we have about 200 people in our town that I then follow up with yearly and get all that information and make sure it's updated. So,
and then it also, like, if there's a favorite fidget, things that will help to regulate them during those situations, they can also upload into that as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things is it's just providing information. Information is key when it comes to, de-escalation and things like that we are trying to, instill in our officers. So if I'm coming to a call and I know that this individual with autism really doesn't like lights, doesn't like sirens, and doesn't like, there's
dogs,
doesn't like dogs. I may tell, an officer who's a canine officer, hey, park down the street so he doesn't hear your dog, or, something like that. And it just allows for a safer environment, and it allows the officers to slow down because they have an idea of kind of what they're walking into, and obviously those things can change, but the more information we have, the better. So
better outcomes.
Yep, and
more knowledge, better outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Danny.
Yeah.
Calladito.
So calladito.
Let's go.
One of the things that I love the most in a time where just there's so much division is how he brings the community together. Come on, Chief, you gotta go. Yes. Right. How he brings the community together, and not just to create awareness, but acceptance. Right.
Yeah.
And I just love seeing at times I just stop for a second and I just kind of look at how everything is being done and developed, and it's just amazing. You see all kinds of community partners coming together, all kinds of resources, right? And it's just beautiful, right? It's just a beautiful moment. It's from 1 to 4, and you kind of wish. And some of these families, my nephew, he's in the spectrum, and he comes every year, and he doesn't want that to end, right? And he goes from and. It's just so beautiful to see him in a place where he feels like included and accepted. And I'll tell you what, because sometimes when we have these cookouts at the house and we find him kind of like walking away and moving far and all the kids are on one side and doing their soccer stuff, and then you see him just kind of in a corner. But I'll show him tomorrow. He's in his world. He loves it. He enjoys everything. He walks around and he feels like he is accepted there. I just love it. So
makes me
to me, that's
emotional.
Like a social media post that my wife put the other day about my son making a friend at school.
Wow.
I know for neurotypical families, that's such a basic thing. It's easy to do. For my son, it's the hardest thing to do. For him to actually see that and recognize that, and actually she put a picture of him holding hands with his other child.
And how old is your son? How old is Ben now?
He's 14.
Right. He's 14, and that was the first time
Yeah, we saw him.
that you saw him do that and acknowledge and affirm that he has a friend. And if you don't know, Robbie has a profoundly autistic son, nonverbal, right, non-speaking, and so that was beautiful when Pam put that out there. But that's what this event is all about. Like, honestly, it makes me emotional. Never in my wildest dreams, I say this. People, they ask me these questions, and I go, no, I had no idea. I had zero idea that I would be able to partner with the best police department in the world. But I always say this starts with leadership, right?
Absolutely.
It might take an individual like it took Commander Echeverria, right, to say, hey, I have this idea. But if the chief, right, if it doesn't come from the top to embrace it, then you know what? It'll be a few people who are on it, but no, the whole Elgin PD is invested in this event. And it is because the whole PD is invested in this event that this event is what it is. Yes. It would not be like this if it wasn't a true collaboration partnership. Like, we both have, like, at first, it was just me with all these ideas, and Echeverria, when Jenny McCarthy's son wanted to drive and wanted the simulated traffic stop, and that's how that idea came out, like giving that history. But then, I kept getting ideas, and then all of a sudden, Li's like, I want to do an art installation. And I was like, let's go, right? And never did I know, like, that, if you don't know this, a couple of those artists one of them had been with us for a while, but the second artist, because of that, has developed an amazing relationship with us. We're donating drum sets to her son, right? And at the same time, she has donated art to our gallery. Like, just a sidebar, this is the beauty that comes from these situations. My dog, who just hit, truthfully, a Guinness World Record for longest living Jack Russell Terrier, he hit it on January 20-something. And over 20 years. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And then he died 3.5 weeks later.
No. Hold on. I need that one back.
No. Star. No. It's okay. It was very emotional. No. It's all good. Bad news. But this artist, all of a sudden, sends me a picture on Instagram. She painted a memorial for him. That's awesome. And she created an art canvas for him and a keychain for us to have. And we've become like just, helping each other out. And that's just one story. And then the other story that just will always play in my head is the autistic who had suicidal ideations and was an ECC student. And Robbie got on the call and was able to stop what could have been something horrific. And he came with his family to this event. And one thing he said to us is that he hates cops. He fears cops. But the beauty was now this event was able to bridge that. And one of my favorite things, there's so many parts that are my favorite. I see these kids just enjoying themselves and the laughter. And you see this in the images that you go to our Facebook on. But I love when I see the cops. We have so many images of cops giving ice cream and hugging kids and popcorn and kids shaking their hands. And we even had a kid dress up as a police officer who came to the event. Like this is the beauty of that bridge. We're bridging the gap. And what we want to do is we want our families who are so fearful to call cops when a situation goes awry at home or in a parking lot or something happens, we want them to not fear calling law enforcement.
Yeah, I'll just add to just from the law enforcement perspective too. You know, the everything the stories that they're sharing is very personal, and you see that connection and people being included. And you know, you sit and you think about the first time somebody has a friend and they're 14. Like, if you don't think about that and think about like, yeah, here you go, she's gonna take the bell, and like the gravity of that and that what that means for Robbie's family, and you know, and then you think about wow, right, like. You know, think about all these things that happen and people go through life and no one truly helps them, or they feel left out, or they feel excluded, or they feel different. It's like, this is what this is about. You know, to me, I think the acceptance word, Heroes Unite, Autism Acceptance. Yes, you guys can come. There's going to be tons of resources, information. What do I do? My son, daughter just recently got, you know, we're told that they're on the spectrum, all this stuff. You're going to get all this stuff. But you can never replace the feeling, right? Like, you're never going to be able to replace that feeling of like, I feel like I could be myself here. I feel like I can. And for me as the police chief and with the officers, that's something that is very important to me is, you know, the kindness that you show each other, right? Regardless of, you can have conflict, you can disagree, you can not like things, but however you know, push that out into the world, do it with kindness. It doesn't, that's fine if something's not like, let's fix it. So for me, it's been very important that the officers truly connect with their community, and that, you know, you feel it's not just, I'd say it all the time, community engagement. And Danny is phenomenal. If anyone, like everyone, so Al Young used to be a deputy chief here, and every time I would say Al Young, everybody knows Al Young, right? Everyone knows Robbie because of the autism stuff. They know Chad, right? Tamika, she's just Tamika. But I am telling you, Danny, you don't even have to say his last name. It's Danny, and everybody knows him. That's how you know that people have made an impact in the community. And that, to me, is the most important thing. So for the officers to see that and to see truly engaging with families and not, community engagement is not, you know, we're standing, the police are on this side, community is on this side. We're just looking at each other, right? I say it all the time. That's a standoff. That is not engagement. Engagement is you get into the nitty gritty of things. Right? The emotional part of things. How did this make you feel? You know, I've had people tell me that they've had some bad experiences with other officers or other departments. And those stories, that sits in my mind of, we got to get the officers trained. We have to have the best equipment. We have to continue to do this for that one time, and Robbie is a true example of it, that one time where it's going to, all that stuff is going to come into this moment and how I respond, and I'm going to truly save a person's life. And that stuff cannot go unnoticed. I think it's people go through their day and it's a routine. It's like, this day is here. It's never going to come again. What are you doing with the day? How are you at the end of your life going to say, this is what I believe. This is what I tell people. At the end of your life, whatever that is, you're going to sit there and you're going to not remember the conflict that you had about some nonsense that doesn't even matter. You're not going to sit there and think about the gossip that you shouldn't have even done because it doesn't really matter. Like, that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is, am I leaving the world a better place? Did I do something for someone truly because I could and for no other reason? I don't need accolades. I don't need awards. You don't need attention, but you just, as a human, right? When I hear Robbie's story about his son making a friend at 14, how that, anybody that hears that, right, and there's probably a lot of joy that he's experiencing from that, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he's getting to experience that moment. So it's very important that it's not just an event. It's not just the things that we're doing. It is truly changing the world. It's truly doing something to make an impact, and all it takes is a few good people to get together and say, we're going to do it. Let's go. So Tamika asks for a lot of stuff, and I never tell her no.
I love it.
You know, because I can't tell her no, because I don't want to tell her no, right? And because I see what she's doing.
And I don't want you to tell me no ever, please.
I won't. And I think you have to realize, too, you know, Tamika and her life and her story and her son and what's brought her to this and training other police departments and doing this and everything. Like, this is how really good things start, right? And you need to pass it on to the next generation. You need to make sure that the foundation is there. But it's very important to me as a police department that the community realizes, you know, what type of police officers work there, what type of people are there. And, you know, they have good days, they have bad days. We're not a perfect department. No, we're humans. But overwhelming just, unbelievable people with true hearts trying to make a difference. And Tamika is just, I have nothing but amazing things to say about her. She's just, her energy, she's amazing what she does, her story. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Sometimes I'm like, all right, let's go, but hold on. I had to drink my coffee. It's like way too early, Tamika.
Yeah.
She'll send a text message, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm in the middle of a meeting, and I'm like, this is like a novel she sent me. I can't read that right now. Like, gotta chill, girl. Hold on a second. I'll get to you
There's
in a
no
minute.
chill button. No chill button.
But as we round up here, we have a couple minutes. I just want to, go down the line here and maybe if you guys want to do some final say, tomorrow, April 25th at the police department from 1 to 4, if you want to put that flyer up so people could see it. This is, again, our autism acceptance program, our event, tons of stuff. Thank you to all the community partners and all the vendors. Thank you to the Autism Hero Project. And most importantly, thank you to you guys, the 4 of you. So it takes you guys to do a lot of work in the background going on. So let's just go down the line, and if there's some last things that you guys want to say.
No, we just can't wait to start tomorrow and welcome everyone. Bring your family, bring your friends, let everybody know. Yeah,
I guess I'm sitting here thinking about, kind of what Tamika said about Anna, Chief Lally, never saying no. And I just want people in the community to understand how lucky we are to have you as our community, but also how lucky you guys are to have a police department that does not say no when things like this are brought to the table. It's just something that I always tell people is this is one of the only departments where if you have an idea and you have a good idea, they will run with it. The position I'm sitting in right now, the thing that I'm able to do right now, I had an idea and I went to the chief and she said, let's get it done. Same thing with Tamika. And we are just so lucky to be officers who work for a department that allow that and allow this community engagement to happen. And I hope that you guys come out to this event and take advantage of that. Because, this is something that we really do take seriously. And we hope that we are able to reach as many people as we can.
I'll see you guys there tomorrow, and you can come and be yourself. It's the best place to be.
Please come. Please bring everybody. We have to get over 1,201 this year because every year we have to grow, right? And when we grow, more people learn about the resources and services that our community has to offer. And, I just have to say, autism is beautiful, even with all of its real and rawness of it, because it brings the best people to your lives. And you get to see the best version of people. And this is what this event does. You see everybody, their best version of themselves, because it's all about love. We love this community. We love you. And we want you to feel that love. And tomorrow when you come, if nothing else, you will feel loved.
All right. So with that, thank you guys. Thank you for what you do. I appreciate each and every one of you guys do amazing work. Thank you very much, Tamika. We'll see you at like 3 a.m. I'm sure at the station running around.
Well,
but,
Fox News is coming out live, and now I have to be there at 8.
So Tamika, you'll see her tomorrow. She's the one bouncing all over the place. I will be there tomorrow, too. I do some opening comments. And thank you, everyone in the Elgin community, for your support. And, again, truly a great event. So tomorrow from 1 to 4 at EPD. And we hope to see you out there. The weather's going to be beautiful, too. So it's going to be a beautiful day. So thank you, everyone. And I will be back next week. Thank you.
Heroes Unite!